Iron Golem. What can I say about Iron Golem? um, the fight itself is a joke. Let's start with that. This is not about the fight, this is all about the route. And this is certainly one of the it was a spine breaker for me at least. Routing this and memorizing all the steps, that sure up to this point was the greatest difficulty of the run, probably, because it is quite a long route and it's really tricky. In fact, when I thought about this challenge, at some point, my mind reached this place, Sen's Fortress, and the path to Iron Golem, and I thought, well, this is probably why this challenge is not really possible. As you can imagine, that's because of all these little and very narrow, slim bridges. Um, Aside from the bridges, the path, yeah, I mean, I really just memorize the steps and then it eventually works out, even if I die once or twice. It's fairly consistent. But the bridges. Let's talk about them. As you can see, right here, this is how I have to navigate. I dance to the left, to the right, 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 and so on. And if I don't do it correctly, I fall and I have to restart. Um, it's really, well, I mean, it's so precise that I didn't really dare write down any notes for this. This is really just a feeling thing. Dancing to the left and to the right, to the left. I mean, I've memorized how many times I have to do it, but I just, wow, look at how, this is terrible. Look at how close this is. And that's just what I have to deal with, in my mind as well, because I know it's always going to be very close. I just can't, I mean, I guess I could go for a different strategy and just, at a certain point, adjust the camera, lock on, and then just go for a straight run. But historically, and from my experience, that gets me killed more often than this. So dancing is the way to go. And then I reach that corner, and I really don't want to leave it, but I have to. And then I reach the cages, and I think here I'm a little lost. I do not remember my steps. Right here I'm a bit confused, and I'm not 100% sure where I am. And now I have to think, and I'm I'm very stressed. I do remember this moment. I really, as if I don't even get to the, or if I fall after reaching the bridges, the first set of them at least, then it's fine. Then I just reset. But after I've traversed them, I do not want to reset because that's normally a good sign. If I can do it once, I can do it. I can do it twice and 3 times and 4 times. So eventually I catch on here and remember my steps. I take a safe approach and make sure I'm actually in this corner, which is exactly where I want to be. Even do a wall check there, which doesn't tell me too much. At least it tells me I'm in the right room and I'm on that wall, so I keep moving to make sure I am in that corner. One step to the right, straight on to the right, and that corner right in the center of the screen, right here, this one, that is my next checkpoint. I always want to end up right there. And from here on, it's again just step counting. This bridge is a little easier than the other ones because right here I just need to do 1 step to the left, and then unless it's not enough of a step, unless the step was too short, I can just move straight on. But here we are again. Simply because of the camera, I have to dance around. And I tried locking on, and sometimes it works, but sometimes it's really. Sometimes I just fall and have to reset. And this, as weird as it looks and as weird as it sounds, this dancing is the most efficient way of dealing with these bridges, at least according to my experience. So I keep dancing, again, very, very close. So close, in fact, that it's... I mean, I know this is the successful attempt, but I'm doubting it. Almost done. So the crossbowman, I don't really care about him. In fact, he's actually... Oh, wow, that... terrible. I almost fell there. The crossbowman is actually helping me, because he just keeps shooting me repeatedly, which tells me I'm on the right path. I mean, that's good, right? But right now, I hear the bolts hitting a wall. And that tells me, well, that means his line of sight is being blocked, and it can really only be blocked if he's right there, if he has moved into that doorway. And that is extremely helpful, because now all I need to do really, even though I'm overthinking it again, but I should just lock on and kill him. And here I get punished, yeah, I remember that. I got headshot, which is a fair punishment for waiting and not doing what I just should do. I should have just locked on and killed him, and I would have been fine. And the nice thing about this situation is that now I'm in front of the doorway, and at least facing the doorway. So really all I need to do now is just move straight on. But again, I'm overthinking, and I'm still a little confused with my step count and everything. Not 100% sure where I am. I have a fairly good idea. I know I must be in this room. And it can't be far. That's something, I guess. But I still want to make sure I know exactly where I am, and at this point I'm close enough to the fog gate, and I think I know that I could just run around in circles and try and find the fog gate, but I don't really want to do that, especially since I need to apply resin to my club, I need to heal, and I also want to use power within, which you might have noticed. So I want to make sure I know when I'm standing in front of the fog gate, so I don't waste precious time. And here I finally catch on. And even though I don't have anything guaranteeing me that I'm right in front of the fog gate, I am somewhat confident, and yeah, not all that confident, but somewhat, and I'm just deciding to go for it. So preparing myself, reconsidering my strategy, making sure everything's alright. There's gold pine resin, and now I just need to apply it, right? Simple enough. I apply gold pine resin, I accidentally switch my shield slot, which I fortunately notice, and then I use power within, and then I realize I'm a complete idiot. This was all sorts of wrong. Impressive. And now I apply gold pine resin, after having wasted one. And now I just go for it. Press E, hope I actually enter the fog gate, and yes, there I am. And now the fun part begins. Run in a bit, lock on a little too late, actually, could have done it way earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's dead. And then I kick him and hit him again just to make sure he's dead, and stays dead. And as you can see there, I am somewhat happy that I actually did it. Don't know how many attempts it took. Probably like like 40, 50. Too many for sure. Too many, and all because of those bridges, and just the sheer amount of steps I had to memorize. But yeah, that's Iron Golem.